I'm falling in love with process, which I never thought would happen to me because I always saw it as boring. It sort of sounds like an accountant. Um, but the
Yeah,
reality is that there is magic in the process. And
there is.
and if you take a proven process, learn from the masters such as yourselves on, fulfillment by Amazon. The acronym's FBA, by the way, if you hear it in dispatches. But
Yeah.
the reality is that if you can just be curious and love the process and just slow step into it every day, after 90 days you've taken 90 steps, and that, and then you've got 365 days, 365 steps.
So,
You've got to play the long game, and that's what's fascinating.
on that point, I love that. I'm going to check out that interview you talked about. It sounds really fascinating. I would love to watch that because I was actually I've written a number of screenplays in my time. Would you believe?
Okay.
And so I'm into Joseph Campbell and all of the how screenplays work and everything. But when you talk about proven processes again, one other thing to say. One of my favorite books, and I believe you've already interviewed this guy. I'm sure you have because you've interviewed loads of people. MJ Demarco, who wrote The Millionaire Fastlane. Have you interviewed MJ
No, I haven't
before?
reviewed him. No, not yet. No.
There you go. There's someone you can interview now who's awesome. But MJ wrote this book anyway, The Millionaire Fastlane, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. It's a genuinely phenomenal business book from a philosophy standpoint of what it takes to be successful. And one of the things he talks about in that book is most people want events of wealth. So I win the lottery. It's an event. I made loads of money.
Yep.
The media will shine a light on this young kid who started a company and sold it for 100 million or whatever, right? But what they never talk about is, well, there was for that kid, there was a big process that he or she had to go through to build that business that sold for 100 million. And it's never talked about. All it's talked about is the event. And the trouble is, and people watch these TV shows like in the UK and Ireland, we have Dragon's Den. In the US, it's Shark Tank. What's it in Australia? Is Shark Tank Australia?
Shark Tank, I think it's called.
I think it's Shark Tank Australia, yeah. So there's these shows where people come in and they have an idea, they sell the idea, they get loads of money, and they're successful at the end. It's not how it works.
No.
Any business really is a process. And so I think, your point of getting excited about it, whether it's selling on Amazon, doing social media, offering marketing services to businesses, whatever, getting excited about that is actually a very wise thing to do because it's going to get you the most success because it's going to keep you going when things get tough. Notice I said the word when, because we have no right to be just successful in life. We have to go out and make that happen. And so there's something that a friend of mine, Ryan Stewman, talks about called the force of average. And that's what it is whenever difficulties come up, it's the force of average trying to bring us back down to just average again. No, don't step out of line. Just stay doing what you're doing. And so you have to understand that you're going to have difficulty, but when you actually love what you're doing, you enjoy what you're doing, you have that intention that you talked about, Jeff, you'll be successful eventually. At some point, you'll be successful.